and welcome to the fourth in our series of videos all about upper body strength, building upper body strength. And this one is, although it's not like that in the sequence of videos, the second video, plank pose, this is very similar. It's called Vashistasana, which translates to mean side plank pose, and it's lots of the same alignment and the key actions of plank pose, but you'll just be on one arm rather than two. So we're going to need to build some strength and some flexibility, some mobility in the sides of the waist and sides of the torso, and the obliques, so the core at the side here, and then back into some more strengthening and strength building in the arms and shoulders. So we're going to start. It's a beginner level practice. You might need a brick. You'll see when we get to it, it's anything that you can hold in your hand really. It's nothing too heavy. And then you're going to come and lie down on your back. Just have your brick where you can reach it. And you're just going to hug your knees in towards your chest. Ground your sacrum and your shoulders and the back of your skull. Just feeling the weight dropping down to your mat. So this pose, Vasisthasana, hugging your knees in towards your chest. Just stretching out the glutes, lengthening the spine, finding the natural curves to your spine as well. And just giving you a few moments to sort of settle into your practice, to connect with your breath. And you can hold the backs of your thighs rather than the front of your shins if you want to feel a little bit less. Just take a couple more breaths, getting really grounded. And then you're going to take your arms out level with your shoulders. We're going to do some twisting core work. So inhale at the center, and as you exhale, squeezing your knees together, and you're going to keep this right shoulder on the floor as you drop your knees over to the left. So that's just going to depend how far you can go, but I don't want you to let your legs touch the floor. I want you to hover them. And then as you inhale again, press your lower back into the floor to bring yourself up. And then exhale over to the other side and inhale back. And just finding a rhythm, keeping that going for a few more rounds. And then the next time that my knees drop over to the right, I'm going to come all the way over into the twist and extend my left arm out to the left. So if you need to put something between your knees or under this bottom knee to make this twist more accessible, and just doing that. And think about this left side waist. Can you lengthen your hip away from you? And it's also, there's a little bit of adjustment going on in the pelvis. So it's as though I'm taking my left hip forwards and my right hip back so that my pelvis is level at the back. One more breath, thinking about the length here. And then back up arms out, and again. And then the next time, my knees go to the left. I'm going to drop them over to the left. I'm just going to move my left shoulder to the left as well, so that my torso is more in a straight line, and that just makes the twist more accessible as well. So I'm stacking my feet, stacking my knees, and then I'm lengthening this right hip forwards and dropping this right shoulder slowly down towards the floor. Doesn't need to touch the floor, and if it's like way off the floor and your arms in the air, then you can just take your hand onto your hip and or even onto your lower back and just drop your shoulder down that way. And then a big breath in. And as you exhale, rocking your way back. And then from here, let's have a little check. From here, you're going to either drop your knees all the way over to the side, or if you've no neck issues or no disc issues, you can just rock yourself forwards and back a few times. And come all the way to a seat. So you're going to stay seated with your knees bent, and then you're going to take your brick and you're going to twist to each side. So another twist, and if you want to try doing it from boat pose or with your shins parallel to the floor, that's going to mean that you get the twist and you get the oblique work, but you also get more oblique work and more core work at the front. And release down. And then from here, either cross your ankles and roll onto all fours, or any other way that you're going to come onto all fours. So a little reminder, because we're going to be taking the weight on our hands and wrists again, bringing your middle fingers to point straight forwards like we've been doing in the other videos, and then lowering down to the third knuckle and keeping the weight forwards into the fingers as you lower the heels of your hands down, and then hug your arms in towards one another, wrap your biceps back behind you. And then from here, you're just going to sway your hips, but your hip and your shoulder are going to come towards one another. So as you crunch the obliques on this side, you'll stretch them on the other side. So I'm exhaling as I do my little crunch on each side, inhaling as I come back through center to go to the other side. Good, and then from there, inhale, lift your left arm up. Exhale, a little bit of strengthening work, so I'm bending this elbow, but I'm not letting this left hand touch down as I thread it through. And then inhale, take it back up. And exhale through, inhale back up, exhale through. This time I'm going to take it all the way down, inhale up, exhale through, rest the left side of your face on the floor, your head, and then from here you can clasp your hands and pull. So I'm trying to press my hands together and push them forwards as I pull on my shoulders. And then from here, just wrapping this hand around so I get the twist. And then plant my right hand and come back onto all fours. And then other side. So inhale, right arm lifts. Exhale, thread through. Strengthen that left hand and wrist. Inhale up. Exhale, threading through. Inhale up. Exhale through. And then again, last time, inhale up. Exhale, thread through. Place the right side of your head on the floor. And then interlacing your fingers, clasping your hands. I'm going to push so that both arms become straight. So it's more stretch on this right shoulder. Thinking about squaring off the hips. So the left hip has a tendency to move across as I do this action with my arm. And then take this left arm behind, maybe even find your right thigh and go into the twist. And then release, left hand down, right hand down. And then from here, we're going to revisit one of my favourites when it comes to wrist strengthening and mobility. We've done it on almost every one of these videos in the series. You're going to circle your wrists, circle your hips, sorry. Taking the weight over your wrists as you come towards the front of your mat. Trying to keep your arms completely straight as you do it. And then going in the opposite direction. And then this last time, circling all the way back. And you can slide something underneath your head. And then interlace your fingers. And from here, you're going to pull, as if you're trying to pull your fingers apart. And then push your thumbs into the back of your pelvis, into your sacrum. And lift your elbows and squeeze them together. And then that might be enough in your wrists and your shoulders. If you're able to straighten your arms and you can lift your hands up, you're going to take that and that's going to take your wrists right the way into the opposite stretch. So it's not just about strengthening, we get more strength in actual fact when we create lots of mobility as well. And release. Stretch your arms forwards and come back up onto, my hair sorted out, onto all fours. So from here, we're going to repeat one of the things that we did when we were working on plank pose. And then we're going to take that very similar movement into Vashisthasana, side plank. So getting your arms set up, and then from here, coming into plank pose on one side. So hugging your arms in to the midline, coming right onto the ball of the straight leg, so that you can push the ball of your foot down and press your heel back away from you and really engage the whole of that leg, especially the thigh, and then hover the other leg or the other knee. Push the floor away. And then left knee down, right knee down. So same on the other side. Left leg stretches back. Really engage the whole of that leg. Push the floor away. Use your core. Hover this right knee now. And release. And then last time, we're going to come all the way into full plank pose. If you want to do it and keep your knees down, or if you want to repeat what we've just done until you build up more strength, please do that, that's absolutely fine. So keep the weight rocking forwards, stretch your right leg back, set up with that right leg, and then left leg stretches back. So make sure your feet are hip width apart, but then don't keep looking back at your feet. Hug your arms in, push the floor away, and then push your heels back and the crown of your head forwards. Keep pushing the floor away, and then tailbone towards your heels, and you're pulling your pelvic points up to give you that strength in the core to support you. And then knees down, and slowly lower all the way down to the floor. Put your forehead down, keep your feet hip width apart, and then reach your hands back and make little fists with your hands. Push the top front of your wrists into the mat and pull your knuckles back towards you, fist back towards you. And then same as we did before, interlace your hands behind your back, and then either keep your elbows bent or straighten your arms. And then from here, strengthen the back body, big breath in, gonna lift your head and shoulders. Keep pushing your feet into the floor, keep squeezing around your sit bones, really engaging your legs so that your pelvis is being pushed, the front of your pelvis is being pushed into the floor. And then maybe lift your legs a little bit as well. So Shalabhasana, locust pose, lots and lots of strengthening for the back body. Slowly releasing back down. Bring your hands either side of your ribs, and then inhale, come up into a cobra. And as you exhale, twist and look over your right shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist and look over your left shoulder. Inhale back, exhale, lowering down. And then pressing back onto all fours. So I'm going to do it on the left side first, purely so that you can see what I'm going to do. So from here, I'm going to stretch my right leg back. So it's similar to what we just did in terms of what you're going to do. So I'm going to hover this left knee in a moment. So from here, I'm going to take my right hand onto my hip, and I'm going to really push the floor away with this left hand. Get all of that same engagement that we've been using in the hand and the fingers. And then from here, I'm pushing into this right foot like mad, and I'm going to hover my left knee and maybe reach my right arm up in the air. And then slowly release. I'm going to start to walk my hands around to the right. I'm going to kick this left foot back behind me, and I'm going to come up and onto my right heel. So I'm in gate pose, and then I'm going to stretch out this left side of my waist where I've been doing that work to lift my hips up. And then releasing back down, both hands down, come back onto all fours for the other side. So I'm just going to have my back to you while I show you this side. So from here, I'm going to stretch my left leg back, my right knee is underneath me, and then from here, really push into this left foot and get this right arm, the engagement in my right arm, hand onto the hip. And then from here, keep all of that engagement and start to cinch in around this right side of my waist and hover that right knee. Maybe lift my left arm up in the air. And then right knee down, left hand down. Start to walk my hands around to the left. Kick this right foot back behind me. Come onto the heel of my left foot and arcing over to the left. So stretch out that right side body that's just been working. And then inhale back and cartwheel both hands back down. So what we're going to do is we're going to repeat that, but just maybe, if you feel okay in it, take it a little bit further. So you're going to stretch your right leg back again. And then from here, bring your right hand onto your hip. So really pushing into the outside edge of this right foot, starting to lift the left side of my waist. And then hover this left knee and maybe bring my left foot in front of my right and reach my right hand up. So this is a modified version of Vashisthasana. And then slowly, right hand down, pivot the knees back down, sit back on the heels and walk your hands over to the right and stretch out this left side waist. Maybe using your obliques. Give your hands a little break. And then slowly walking your hands back, coming up, back onto all fours. And then same thing on the other side now. So from here, I'm going to stretch my left leg back. And I'm going to imagine that as I take the weight down through this right arm, that I've got a little pencil underneath my arm, and I'm going to squeeze that pencil as I take more weight into that hand. So push down into the left foot, hover the right knee, and then maybe stack the right foot in front of the left, and maybe lift this left arm up in the air. Keep lifting through this right side of the waist. And then left hand down, knees down. Sit back and walk your hands over to the left. So releasing the hands, you can come up onto your finger pads. That always works for me, lifting the heels of the hands up. Releases the wrist. Anchor your right hip down and feel this stretch through the right side of your body. And then walking yourself back and coming all the way down onto your belly for one last time. So we're just going to stretch out the shoulders. You're going to bring your left arm in front of you, parallel with the front edge of your mat, and then your right arm in front of that, feet are hip width apart. And then you're going to start to walk your elbows and your hands out to the sides. And have a look at your hands. You're trying to get them the same distance away from the middle of your mat. And then you're going to rest your head on the upper arm on this right arm. And you start to let the weight, you can let your heels fall out, you're just going to let the weight drop down. So you're letting gravity take you deeper into the stretch. So slowing your heart rate down now. We're coming towards Shavasana. And then slowly drawing your elbows back out and then switching. So now your left forearm's in front of your right, and then you're going to do the same thing. Walk your hands out and rest your head on your left upper arm. So you can have your palms facing up. If it bothers your hands to turn your palms to face down. If you can turn them to face down, you're just going to get more internal rotation of your arm in your shoulder, which is the opposite to what we've been doing in Vashistasana. So it will just give you a little bit more release from the work that you've done. And then you can either roll onto your back and take your classic Shavasana, or you can make a pillow for your head with your hands and just come into a resting pose, lying on your belly just for a few moments. First, And then if you've got time and if you're ready, you're just going to roll over and take Shavasana. So adjust yourself, get an knee so you're comfortable, get rid of any fidgets, and then let your feet fall open and your hands fall open, your whole body falling open, and just let yourself soak up the magic of each of the different poses, all of the work that you've just done. Relax your breath, relax your thoughts. And I encourage you to pause your video and take a little bit of extra time if you've got it. This is like such an important pose. But otherwise, when you're ready, you're going to wiggle out your fingers and your toes and then reach your arms. A big stretch. And you roll to your side. After a few soothing breaths there, just pressing yourself up and coming to the end of your practice. So that's Vashistasana, or some modified versions of Vashistasana. So I hope you enjoyed that, and as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you, and that you, by this fourth video, you're starting to feel that you're getting a little bit stronger in your upper body. But sometimes we can feel in life as though we're literally carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders. So when you get stronger, you lighten that load, everything gets a little bit more, less of a burden, more manageable. So thank you for sharing that with me, and I will see you on the next video.